We just had a lovely customer into the shop who we've been helping along with a pattern, full garment that she's knitting for a son-in-law, and who has had that moment where, you get all the sewing up, it's done in pieces, and the fit isn't quite right, particularly around the shoulders. So I have just been doing a little bit of surgery, and I wanted to make sure I got that done and looking good for her. Hey, good morning, Jeanette. Great. I now know people are coming in. This is good. So welcome to the Skeinz Diaries. You're with Marie. It is Monday, the 24th of August. And it is, episode 28. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, so I've been doing this surgery for this lady on her sweater. It's a gorgeous sweater. She's done it in black pearl. It's really amazing, and it's in ribbing, and it was in pieces. And, sometimes when you're doing shaping in rib, the shaping can be quite, it just doesn't sit right. And with the shaping that she had, it just sort of sat up. So it was really good actually, because she had tried it on her son-in-law and it looked fantastic, but you could see this sort of bump, this hump on the shoulder. It just wasn't sitting properly in the shoulder. And it was really nice that I actually had that visual, because then I was able to see, and we were able to do a little bit of, fortunately, she'd actually sewn it from the top of the shoulder cap. So a little bit of serendipitous sort of unraveling and some re-sewing in there to actually get it sitting flat. So, and I just didn't want to leave a half-mast. So thank you for waiting around for me. I wanted to get that done for her before I went live this morning. Hey, if you popped in on the weekend, and I saw you on the weekend, it was so good. We were absolutely bonkers here on the weekend on Saturday. We had our first ever class in this room, proper class in here. It was so cool. It's the wonderful Susan Hagedorn is in town. And she did a class here, an introductory class to knitting in the round. And in fact, she's doing that class again on Wednesday, as well as a knitters booster, skills booster on Wednesday as well. She's here all day. So it was so good to finally get this room set up and used for what it was designed for. I mean, it's only taken us almost a year to get here, but it was so nice to do. And Saturday was really, really busy. And I'm sitting here, I've actually moved my aspect in position, as you can see. The background behind me is slightly different, and it means that I'm now looking directly out into the shop, and the girls are actually poking faces at me from behind the counter. Charming, aren't they? Oh, tell you what. Yes, so it was so good on Saturday. So I saw a number of you on Saturday, popped in and said good day, which was neat. I'm usually not here on a Saturday, but I wanted to be here for Susan, and it was just as well, because we ended up being super busy, which it brings me to next Saturday. Obviously, I do want to make sure I'm 100% on Jacinda's decision at 3:00. However, what I can tell you is there will be definitely something happening here in store on Saturday. That is a given. I've got some locals that are definitely keen as mustard to do some stuff. So we just want to mark this weekend. From Thursday would have been Knit August Nights. And for me, it feels seriously weird to be in this time of year and I am not working like insane hours and up the wazoo with Knit August Nights, which I've done for the last 10 years. So it's kind of strange for me not to just be living and breathing and doing everything Knit August Nights. So that in itself is sort of quite odd, but we just wanted, so Susan's class on Saturday sort of kind of kicked it off, and I've got some yarns that I'm going to show you today which have just come out and kicked off, and then we're definitely going to do something in here next Saturday, just something a little bit of fun. And Claire and I have also been looking at doing something online as well, just to mark the occasion, and just to let you know that it hasn't gone away just with COVID. And I'm so glad now. I mean, it seemed crazy when I made the decision back in, I think it was April, to put it in hiatus. But see, with the resurgence of COVID, if I hadn't done that and had pushed ahead, I mean, all our Australians wouldn't have been able to come, and those then who would have made plans still would have been struggling to come for the weekends. And and I tell you what, my blood pressure would have been through the roof, I'm sure. So, sometimes the universe has a way of smiling and letting you know you've done the right thing. So I'm really, really relieved around that. But I just can't let the weekend go by without doing something. So I will fill you in on that a little bit more. So keep an eye out. And in fact, I may even come to you live again once I know what's going on in the next day or two. So yes, so that is happening. What else did I do on Saturday? Oh, the fabulous Steph from Available Light, she is so amazing. All the yarns arrived to her Friday morning, and she got out and did her setup. And late Friday night, I had a file load of images, which meant that when I came in on Saturday, I was able to get those images uploaded. And the biggest thing with those images is we got all the cascade rephotographed, with the exception of two, which were the purple and the peridot in Roslyn, and that's because we're down to the last couple of bags on those. But we got everything rephotographed, and particularly the cascade sport multis has made a huge difference, because the tiny little thumbnails that we had just didn't really show you how beautiful the yarns were, and Steph's done a wonderful job. And I know a whole heap of you have snapped those up over the weekend, now that you can actually get a really good, true indication of what those colours are. So I'm just going to jump in and say good morning. Oh, here comes Heather. Hello, my darling. Oh, very short and quickly. Okay, so all right, guys, don't pack yourself. The fire alarm man is going to check the fire, so we're not having a fire. He's just checking them. See, typical. While we're doing things live. Oh, good morning to everybody. Oh, Belinda, considering cutting her steak today, got to psych yourself up. I have to say, Belinda, this lady, she's sitting there and. Oh, she was so sweet and she was so patient. And when I got my scissors out and I could see her eyes doing this, she was like, ah! Yeah, I know. I feel you. But I had to fix that. Right. Oh, Pat, love some suggestions for Libby's new thinking hats, please. Funny you should mention that, Pat. I've actually once I get off this broadcast, I've actually got a video call scheduled with Libby, and one of the things we'll be talking about is thinking hats. So I promise you next video. Oh, it was really funny because I was watching her hat broadcast from last week, and because she was talking about, and so if any of you didn't catch Libby from Truly Myrtle's video from last week, she was talking about hats and hat styles and what styles suit what people for wearing hats. Now, those who know me know that I love a good hat and I wear a hat a lot, and she was talking, and the only hat that I struggle to wear is a cloche, and I think that's because I have such a melon head, and a cloche, I have got one cloche that I only wear like at Art Deco time because it's an Art Deco styled hat, but it's because I've got such a melon head. They just tend to make it look more melon-esque than what it actually is, whereas any other hat for me is fair game, and I'm quite happy to wear them. And I think it's because I've got a lot of forehead. I'm used to wearing stuff back off my face. So for me, I love wearing hats, and I find hats also very useful, when you haven't quite made the appointment to get dipped into the fountain of youth. And if you want to know what I mean, just watch the Quarantine Diaries, particularly the first dozen or so episodes, until I could get hold of something to touch things up. Yes, I will be talking about that. But this morning I did actually, thank goodness, I did a bit of prep for everyone this morning before I got sidetracked on my shoulder surgery in that sweater, because one of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning is I've been busy. I jumped out and I made sure I bought my I took off, I've had my Nanilchik, so I'm doing the Nanilchik Swamp Show by Caitlin Hunter and Sockman DK, and I actually went in and I popped it on a bigger cabled needle, so I can, hold on, this is sort of the front, so I can show you how my progress is going. So it's quite, there will be some, I think, potentially aggressive blocking. Oh, there goes the fire alarm. Did you hear that? So potentially some aggressive blocking going on. But I'm really happy. It's a very pleasurable thing to knit, I have to say. Very pleasurable thing to knit. The pattern is pleasurable and the yarn is fabulous. Really enjoying working with the yarn. For those eagle-eyed who are working on this or have knitted this before, you may spot that there is already a modification, and that is in these centre triangles here. In her pattern, she actually has what is orange there is actually this main colour down here. Personally, I like the extra punch of colour. That's a preference thing. So that's what I've gone and done. And I'm now down to the next set of these sort of diamond triangle-y things down here. So that's where I'm up to now. Absolutely loving it. Now, I appreciate, and then, of course, what happens is I pick the colours that I go to do this in, and then we have a run on them. And I think the milk, we haven't got any... I'm just looking out there now. Yeah, we've got Baker and Chapel and Taylor, but we haven't got any milk. But I just wanted to make sure that I thought I'd give you some other options, because I am doing this as the Sock Petition edition. It is an investment. I won't lie to you. I mean, there's going to be the thick end of a couple of $100 worth of yarn in here. And, in the current climate at the moment, not everybody is going to be able to invest a couple of $100 in a project, a full-size blow-on project for themselves. However, this is the nice thing about this project, because it is a full colour project and you've got the ability to actually do some really fun stuff with it. It is in DK. I actually went around in the shop this morning and just pulled out some other ideas, and I've grabbed my calculator, because then I thought we could work it all out at the same time. So, and I'm just working these out now because I'm blah, 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 blah. Three. Right. Now I'm just working all of these sizings out to the biggest size. I haven't done it for the smallest size, because I just haven't. I ran out of time. But what I wanted to do was just pull together some different ideas of how you could actually knit this project and still get this really incredible, satisfying look with a punch of colour, but you're not having to invest a couple of $100 to do it. So, I mean, one way, obviously, is to pull yarns from stash, because, you may have stuff from stash. So I did a little bit of mathematics, and this, again, is basing the mathematics on the larger size, not the smaller size. But the mathematics on the larger size is you're looking at essentially 1,000 metres for the main colour, 300 metres each for the contrast colour 1 and 2, and around 250, 260 metres for contrast colour 3. Now, if you're doing what I'm doing and you are adding in, you're playing around with that contrast colour 3 and doing the extra colour through those squares, it will change that slightly. It will probably change it to about 950 metres and 300 metres on that. So it's not going to be a huge change, I do not think. But this is how it's written. So what I thought I'd do is I'd grab just some colour combinations, just to give you some ideas of the different looks and things that you can do. So the first one I leapt out and grabbed was in vintage, and I grabbed those three there as contrast colour 1, 2, and 3. So the way she's gone and designed this, and I actually quite like how she's done it. I've sort of done that, but she's gone and got her contrast 1 and 2 colours are actually quite similar. So they're tonal colours. Her contrast 3 colour is a pop, and then obviously her main colour is a contrast, like a light dark contrast to the other all three. Right. So what I've gone and done, sorry, hay fever, still going, is that I pulled out vintage to begin with. So this is pewter and navy, perfect for contrast colour 1 and 2. Throw in carmine, there's your pop. Okay. And you add that back with a main colour of porcelain, and what you end up having is actually a swan show that's very, very nautical in theme. You've got these beautiful different squares in there, and in fact you could even substitute that carmine out in for sweet corn if you wanted to as well, and it would give you a really nautical inspired swan show, with the zigzags and the kind of trapezoid type diamonds that she has there. They're very sort of semaphore and flag like. So if you were wanting something that to knit, and you love nautical themed clothing, or you live by the ocean, or you want something to have it at the beach or throw over, this is a really, really neat option. And with vintage, you're looking at 16. So there we go. So I've gone and worked this out at 19 balls based on vintage. So you're looking at $113 on vintage. Potentially more if you need to do an extra ball here or there, but you're looking at around 113 in vintage, which is still a reasonable amount, but a lot better value than I think the 199 is, which might even be 209 that Sockmatician worked out at. So that's one option. The other option that I've actually had people ask me about, and I have done a recommendation for a few people on this actually, and I've grabbed a number of them because there's so many neat options. I've had people that want to do, the Swancho works brilliantly if you really want to do some fun bright jewel colours, and we have those colours in Chatswood. So I think Chatswood Sheffield, which is now back in stock, makes the perfect main colour. Ideal. This is like a blank canvas in yarn form. It's a beautiful natural oatmeal for you to add a bit of colour to. So there's your blank canvas. Then you've got these different shades which provide you so many different options. And I'm going to hold up the first three. If you wanted to go very gem-like, we've got here, this is Windsor, Dorset and Chelsea, which is would work brilliantly there with... Oh, yeah, bring that in, Damo. Oh, this is exciting. Damien's, thanks, Damo. Oh, look, just arrived. They've just turned up, and the courier bags too. Exciting. Look, we've got new bags. Isn't that exciting? New bags for in store. We ran out of courier bags. So you may have noticed that the branded Skeinz bags have disappeared and we'd gone back to plain bags, and it's because we've been waiting for our new branded bags with our new logo on it, and we thought we would get some paper bags at the same time. Absolutely thrilled with those. Just so if you come in, you can get one of those, and they would actually make brilliant little project bags. Anyway, sorry, getting distracted. Right, back to Chatswood. So one option that would work really well in jewel tones is those three, right? But the nice thing is that, see, these are the other tones that you have in Chatswood. So you could do things like you could drop those two off, and if you wanted to go something bright and frivolous, Chelsea, Somerset and Brighton would look fantastic. If you wanted to do something that was more tonal, there's Windsor, Brighton and Chelsea. If you wanted to change your pop out and have something, to me, that's very sort of flower-like, spring-like, that works beautifully. There are so many options. All the colours that we did in this Chatswood range are designed to go together. And all of these, I think, are fantastic. Personally, I like that combination, which is the Windsor, the Dorset, and the Chatswood. The Sheffield, Somerset, brain fart. I like this combination personally, and I know that you look at that and you think, but there's something with this project that says that if they're sort of slightly discordant, they sometimes feel so wrong, but are actually quite right. So there are lots of different combinations there. So that is your Sheffield combination. With Sheffield, you're looking at around $85. If you want, no, Sheffield, in Chatswood, if you're wanting to go Chatswood. So that is also helping to reduce that price down. Now, the other one that's also $85 to knit, if you're wanting to do it in combination, is if you went with Perrindale. Now, the great thing about Perrindale is the sheer vastness of options that we have in Perrindale. The other really nice thing about Perrindale too is that you've got the ability to also draw across from Southlander. Now, I haven't get priced out Southlander for you because we have actually done Southlander on a previous episode. But I wanted to show you Perindale because the nice thing with Perindale is because they come in 50 gram balls, you've got the ability with your contrast colours to actually play around with a smaller amount. If you're wanting to go down and use that soft grey again, now you could use, if you wanted to, you could use your Sheffield Chatswood back in with your Perindale, no problem at all. I would actually potentially look at Southlander Oatmeal. Either or. Southlander Oatmeal from a construction perspective is almost identical, whereas this is a twofold, but there is, to be honest, very, very little in it. The other option is cream. Cream is a great contrast. I've seen it done in cream. Now, the two colours to me, because of the tonal aspect in the swatch show, I just love pine and Kaffir line together with the cream as your main colour. And then you need to throw a pop of colour in there. And if you wanted to go subtle, I think maroon makes a really lovely subtle pop. But if you wanted to go intense and bright, oh, look at that. That's Fruju. Or if you wanted to actually do something a little bit more festive, if you're, I see Margot's in here. I've got a few Americans, and if you're wanting to do a more festive Christmas-inspired swatch show, you could throw that in. That is Rapscallion from Bandit. Look at that. Look how festive that would be. Absolutely gorgeous. I think that would look amazing. That will push the cost up. Honestly, you would need 3 balls of that, and that would increase your cost by $9 over the total garment if you just switched out one colour to Bandit. If you didn't quite like the brightness of the Fruju and wanted more of a pumpkin orange, I think that's a great combination. They just work so incredibly well. So, and of course, Bandit yarns on their own are another great option. And look at those three together. See the tonal colours with the Rapscallion, and I can never Daring, I think that is, Jaunty, and Tomfoolery as your 3 contrasts. And then you can throw in something like Perindale Soot. Oh, is that Soot? Cloud, Perindale Cloud. And that will give you a really nice option. So those are some different options to have a look at. Don't be afraid to play around with colour. This is the big thing. So the last one I just wanted to show you, while we're on the theme of keeping things tidy and tight, if you had the other combination that I think that would be amazing is this one here. So this is Snug. So we've got cyan, indigo, and green and Snug. Throw that in with Cloud, and look at that. Now that combination is, I will tell you, un momento, por favor. Yeah, you're looking at around $90 with that combination. And you're going to have leftovers with these. So you'll actually have enough leftovers to do another project. But I just think that is another fantastic option. So loads of different options there to have a look at. So if you haven't yet started the Nanilchik, you're quite keen to get it started, you've got tons of time. I mean, I'm just going to keep chugging along with it over the next month. As you can see, I mean, I'm still only probably a third of the way through. I think once I get through that last lot of colour work, it's not going to take me long at all, but it is certainly something that I'm really, really enjoying. If you're wanting to jump in and do some colour work, it's so much fun. And speaking of colour work, I've had a look in the speakeasy. I actually managed to spend some time in there this morning. Gosh, the can colour, seeing the colour in there for can colour theme has been such an absolute joy. There are so many of you just playing around with some beautiful combinations with hats, with colour. You're really having so much fun with it, which is just awesome. And one of my jobs for this week is to start putting those prize packs together. I've got all the components. And now that we've got our bags there as well, it'll be so much fun to actually just pull those together. And actually what we thought we may even do is we may even just pull them together as some mystery bags and get those sent out to you as congratulatory packs, and then you can unbag them at your end and show off everybody what you've won in the speakeasy when they arrive. We thought that would be a bit of fun too. So do have a little look at that. I think that is so much fun. Right, I'm just having a quick look and seeing. Oh, hold on. Maxine saying good morning. Love the pintle brooch you're wearing today. Oh, thank you, Maxine. It was my grandmother's. So it's turquoise and pearl. I have actually lost a wee pearl off the end there. But yes, it lives on this jumper. And please nobody ask me what this is, because I have no idea what this is called. None. I've forgotten. I could probably look it up if someone desperately wants to know. But what I can tell you is that I didn't like knitting it. It's a pain in the ass. It doesn't fit properly, and I'll never knit it again. And it only lives on this dress because I knitted it to go with this dress, and it works okay with this dress, but it wasn't the best written pattern. So, yes. Not that I'm going to be, beat about the bush on that one, of course. What else? Here we go. Loving what you're wearing. Would love to know what the pattern is. Oh, sorry, Rachel. Oh, God. Okay, I will look it up. It was, yeah. You know how I'm just jumping into my rev. I knitted this 7 or 8 years ago, maybe. I'll tell you actually in a second when I look it up. I knitted it forever ago, and it was one of those things that, obviously I was limited because I had a hand-dyed yarn, and I was limited by the amount of yarn that I had, and it just waiting for it to load up. I can't even remember what it was called. I did it so long ago. Such a long time ago. Good grief. Oh, did I even bother? God, I may not have even loaded it into. Don't know. I'm sure I loaded it into. I'm sure I loaded it into. Oh, I know what it is. Right. I tell you. And I've been so good that I've not worked on anything else except this. Oh, no, it's not that one. I've been super good. I have just been working on my Nanolchik, which is very unlike me. Huh. Or maybe it was that. No, definitely no, it's not that. Oh, I will dig it out and stick it in the comments if I can find it. Yeah, all I know is I won't be doing another one. Right, what else did I have to tell you? Oh, okay. With Steph's fabulous photos, I actually popped these up in the Book of Face over the weekend, which was some of these beautiful gelato spring-inspired prints. Aren't they lovely? Really fantastic. And also that arrived in this at the end of last week, which we managed to whip up to get Steph to photograph, was this, which is called Menthol, and it is a baby DK, which is this, and it's the same count as these Cascade prints. So I grabbed these 3 because if you are looking for a solid contrast to go back, this is a baby DK merino. It is absolutely perfect. It tones beautifully with any of those 3, even that darker one, because it's a lighter tonal shade than the sort of sagey mint that's already there. It looks great with either of those 2. So that has been uploaded, and this is to clear. It's only $3.95 a ball. It was a missed shade for another client, so we want that quit and gone. So if you are charity knitting and you're wanting to get some really incredible value baby DK merino, $3.95. It's on the sale page underneath. Once it's gone, it's gone. Do snap that up. So I've loaded that up. The other thing I just wanted to show you is it's amazing. They had a bit of a cleanup in the mill, and they do this periodically, and they have a big cleanup, and then they find things that we thought were long gone. And one of the things that they found was a fadge, a part fadge of this Colorado. Who remembers Colorado? Which is a 14-ply chunky merino wrap yarn. A slubby yarn. It's really fun, this yarn. If you're a weaver, I know the weavers adored this yarn. This yarn is great if you're wanting to add texture or do something fun. In fact, I should have actually grabbed our 14-ply warm, because you can use the warm back as a solid with these. So we've got the Raven, which has just come back in, which is the black, which works perfectly with all of them. In fact, the blue works really well with all of the, which is called Tasman, works great with these. We have even the gold. In fact, the bullion works really, really well with this. So there's 3 colours in this. This one is called Forest. I think they actually got them mixed up when they named them, because this one's called River. I really think this one was supposed to be called River and this one was supposed to be called Forest. It's okay. They're the other way around. But they're loads of fun. And if you're wanting to do a fun, quick knit, particularly if like a wrap or short, actually, in fact, a lot of Stephen B patterns would work really well in the stuff. They love to have texture in those. And you can mix texture around and really create, particularly some of those simple triangular shawls, or the scraf he has, which is like this really free-form piece, would be great in this. So if you're wanting some really fun, crazy, mindless, quick knitting, this stuff is fantastic. So we've only got a limited amount of it. This wasn't huge. They just were doing some prints actually for something else, and these got tacked in at the end to just do something a little bit fun with. So they are there as well. So do go and do that. The only other thing, and I've gone and dropped it on the ground because it is now dry and I haven't had a chance to show you. I just wanted to show you that Rosalind swatch, which is now dry. Because there was a question on the inquiries, which I haven't got around to answering yet, but they were saying how it felt very, very thin. And I agreed with you. I took one look at it and thought, yeah, they say DK, but I think that they could be dreaming. So I actually knitted it and swatched it to DK. And I can tell you right now, it does swatch with DK. And actually in the cover factor is pretty good. It's definitely at the lighter end of DK, but it's funny. It's because of the woolen spun construction, and you've got these smaller tweedy pieces in there with the silk noils that they have. It definitely, I mean, you could potentially go a tighter construction, but DK is where it lives. Certainly is where it lives, and it makes the fabric it's a fantastic fabric, and this would look really, really good if you're wanting to do some cardigans, particularly transitional pieces that are not too heavy. So the Summer Carnival, which I knitted by Georgie Nicholson, that would be fantastic in this. And actually Lizzie that I had on the other day, I think I had it on in one of the videos the other day, again would look really, really good in this. So yes, so it's definitely, now that this is dried and doing its thing, it looks fantastic. I think that's everything that I've got for you guys today. As I said, I will be in touch. There will be a newsletter coming out today. I'll be in touch with what's going on Monday. That announcement obviously is 3 o'clock this afternoon, but something definitely will be going on. And keep an eye out, because there are going to be some things loaded up today. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the Cascade, especially the prints with the new photographs, do please go and do that, because honestly, it makes browsing those yarns so, so much easier. They look fantastic. So do go and do that. But I'll just check, make sure that there are no other. Louise is wanting to know the mohair yarns. I'm hoping you mentioned them today. I'm still waiting, Louise. I know that they were in the die sked to be done. There's just so much coming through at the moment. I'm not too sure when they will get here, essentially. So we're just waiting for those to arrive ourselves. And Susan, hi Susan. Susan's here because Susan was in on Saturday. So she is hanging out and knitting with her friend out in Bayview, which is great. Oh, and Bronwyn is saying she's is designing an infinity scarf using the Roslyn, and it's looking great so far. And yes, it would make a lovely summer knit. Yeah, I think so too. I just needed to. Sometimes, I mean, I get that all the time. Like I'll see recommendations on a ball band and I think, really? Really? But this is why swatching in a way can be quite important because you just don't know until you actually swatch. And yarns are funny things. You never quite know how fibers are going to react and what they'll actually do. It is really quite amazing. It's one of the beauties and the infinities of yarn, which I absolutely love. But until then, I'm going to head off because I've got a million and one things to do, and I'm sure you guys do too. My fingers will be crossed for you in Auckland today, people. I really do hope the news for you at 3 o'clock will be good. In the meantime, have a great day. I'm told thunderstorms and lightning here this afternoon. Could be a bit of excitement in the bay. But until then, have a great day, and I will talk to you again later in the week. Take care. Bye.